What is up everyone, it is Silver here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys a neat little application for the Vanilla Jet Squelcher. Now, normally people would prefer to use the custom jet because of the burst bomb and Kraken, but I've been pretty interested in the Vanilla Jet because of its range and its kit, making it very useful for some stages. And a few days ago in a scrim, which I actually already posted videos about, I tested out using Vanilla Jet on Moray Tower's splat zones, and what you're seeing right now is exactly what I did with it. Now, basically what I've done here is I've played a very campy playstyle, where I sat up here just above the zone with the Jet Squelcher, and I ran Tenacity. Now, the point of this was to allow my teammates to play more aggressive by pushing their zone constantly, while I pretty much just play babysitter for our zone the entire time. Now, and then I use Tenacity for when they die, I can have ink strikes to go and ink strike their zone to keep control of that as well. Now, the downside to this part is, of course, you basically kind of play a 3v4, but you'll always be painting the zone. As you can see here, they're pretty much just, I'm out painting them pretty much, which is surprising for the Jet Squelcher, which normally has which is usually not a very good painter, but when it comes to just straight pure lines, it does a pretty good job. Now, standing here, you act as a very good beacon, as your teammates can just jump to you, and you actually can protect both your snipe and your overlook from this position, since you have enough range to counteract people climbing up to your overlook. And if people come up to your snipe, you can actually just throw a splash wall and start taking them out. So basically, you play a very campy mind game with them. And this kind of position can also be played in port mackerel splat zones, where instead of playing more like a campy sit in one spot, you can actually just play lane control. So what I do is I will just go back and forth between the lanes on port mackerel and just make sure that they're painted in our color. I use my range and my splash wall to my advantage, so that my team can freely move out through the lanes and not have to worry about them losing control of them. So right here, it's basically it's just showing a perfect example of what good can come from its range, and the way to counter it, which most people, when they show off stuff like this, they'll show you how to do it, and then not a very good way to counteract it. Now, as you can see here at this part, the Luna's pushing me back, and this is about the point where they start to get control back, was because they managed to get me out of the spot. And then I noticed the Luna jump down, so I'm going to jump off as well, and basically just resume what I was doing before. So, how to counteract this? Well, this team wasn't running a charger, which is a little iffy of a choice for this map on their part, especially because we did have a charger. And as you can see there, I just locked him out of coming after me by using a splash wall. So, how you can counteract this? You can actually just have your charger move off snipe, because they actually can't hit you from there. So you can get them to jump off and move into your zone, then they can actually hit you. But that brings your charger into a more questionable position. Another way is to make sure that my attention, or the person doing this's attention, is drawn away from the zone, and to pay attention to more than one person. If you had someone coming up the snipe and then someone coming from overlook, you're only going to be able to cover one ground, and you're going to rely on your teammates to help pay attention to the other spots for you. In this case, we had our charger that was watching snipe for me, so I could pay attention to the zone, and so she would just cover everything from there, and I would just watch the snipe sometimes, and then watch overlook, and then paint zone. And this is pretty much what I did to the extent. This is pretty much all I did. What you're watching here is what I did for the whole 5 minutes. And it may seem like very boring and tedious gameplay where I'm not really doing anything, but in reality, I'm providing massive amounts of support by holding our zone and constantly ink striking theirs, which allows my teammates to play a bit more aggressive by constantly pushing their zone, which wasn't really shown off here. Obviously you can't see what they were doing, but most of the time they were paying attention to our zone for some reason. So basically, now when I was talking to some other people, they brought up a very good counter argument to this, which was that the Jet Squelcher, the vanilla one, has the very same kit as the vanilla heavy splatling, and people say the heavy paints better, and so this shouldn't be a job that a Jet Squelcher should do, but should instead be done by a Vanilla Heavy, which is a good argument. But I like looking for new ways to put obscure weapons into positions where they can be useful, and that's why I went and messed with this instead of the Heavy. So that was pretty much it. I just played a very campy game for 5 minutes, held our zones, got a couple kills, but didn't die, which was very essential to that match. But that's it. That's just a unique way to put the Jet Squelcher in a position of usefulness. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all later.